Once upon a time, in a small village at the foot of a mountain, there lived a young man named John. Known throughout the village for his laziness, John would spend his days napping and daydreaming under a shady tree, while the other villagers toiled away in fields and workshops. One day, a wise old monk arrived in the village. He was in search of someone willing to undertake a difficult task. The monk found John and said, "I have a task for you. I want you to climb to the top of that mountain and bring back a single feather from its highest peak." John looked up at the mountain and scoffed. "That's impossible. I'm far too lazy to climb all the way up there." The monk smiled and replied, But you see, the feather I seek is not on the mountain itself. It is on the other side, in a cave that can only be reached by climbing to the top and descending the other side." John's curiosity was piqued. He had never heard of such a feather, and the unique task sparked his interest. "Why would a feather be on the other side of the mountain?" he asked. "That is a mystery," said the monk. "But I believe it is a feather from a very special bird, a bird said to be able to fly higher than any other in the world." John's fascination with birds and the thought of finding a feather from such a special bird was irresistible. "I'll do it," he said. "I'll climb the mountain and find the feather." The monk smiled. "I knew you would. But be warned, the journey will not be easy. The mountain is steep and dangerous, and the cave is well hidden. However, if you are brave and determined, you will succeed." And so, John set off on his journey, with the monk watching him go. The young man faced a difficult challenge, but he possessed the strength and determination to succeed. For many days, he climbed the mountain, overcoming obstacles and battling his own doubts. Driven by curiosity and a desire to find the feather, he persisted. Finally, after many days, John reached the top of the mountain. As he looked out at the breathtaking view before him, a sense of accomplishment washed over him. He had overcome his laziness and faced his fears, but the real challenge still lay ahead. He had to descend the other side of the mountain and find the cave where the feather was said to be located. The descent was even more treacherous than the climb. John stumbled and fell many times, but he refused to give up. The promise of the feather that lay ahead kept him going. As he reached the cave, he saw the gleaming feather, illuminated by the light filtering in from the entrance. He picked it up and marveled at its beauty. However, a new problem arose. How would he get back up the mountain and return the feather to the monk? For a moment, John considered giving up. But then, he recalled the sense of accomplishment and pride he had felt when he reached the summit. He knew he possessed the strength and determination to do it all over again. And so, he began the arduous climb back up the mountain. His muscles ached, and his lungs burned, but he did not give up. He pushed himself, driven by the knowledge that he had overcome his own laziness and accomplished something remarkable. When he finally reached the monk and presented him with the feather, the monk smiled and said, "Well done, my son. You have learned an important lesson today. Laziness is not something to be accepted or tolerated. It is a challenge to be overcome, a hurdle to be leaped over." The young man nodded, understanding the wisdom of the monk's words. He realized that he had always been capable of great things, but his laziness had held him back. Now, he knew that he had the strength and determination to overcome any obstacle that lay in his path. This story teaches us that laziness is not something to be accepted or tolerated. It is a challenge that must be overcome, a hurdle that must be leaped over. If we find ourselves struggling with laziness, we can remember the story of the young man and the monk. We can find motivation in the knowledge that we are capable of great things if we are willing to work hard and overcome our challenges. Thank you for reading this story. I hope you found it inspiring and motivating. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to my channel for more stories and videos. See you next time.